Okay, another one from me is the tiny poop slash constipation dilemma. Lots of questions about this in the chat too, so I'll get into it here. Okay, my daughter will not poop on the toilet at all. She's totally toilet trained for urination. She'll go to the bathroom to pee on her own with no problem. However, she lets out tiny bits of often hard poop in her underwear frequently throughout the day. She never seems to have a big poop and let it all out. I don't know if she doesn't understand how to poop in the toilet, is scared, or what. So this is different than the scenario that we talked about where you're doing the stimulus fading of the diaper. That's the trainee being really tied to the diaper as their method of pooping. This is something else. So the diaper fading procedure isn't what you need here. You got to approach it a different way. And unfortunately, this one's pretty layered and complicated. A big overlap between that tiny poop thing is just it's constipation. The tiny poop can be a sign of constipation, right? So we're going to kind of talk about these as one issue, although they may not be fully one issue. We just want to make sure that we also mention constipation can be handled in this way. So how do you do poop training? So it's not uncommon and it's really tricky. Tiny poop can be a symptom of chronic constipation or endocapresis. So caused by many things. There's many reasons a person might have chronic constipation. Whatever the cause, it's often the result of what we call the D3 cycle. So the reason this is happening is because of discomfort, dread, delay. I'll explain what that is. So if you look up where it says start here, the person experiences a feeling where it's hard to poop and it doesn't feel good. So then they have discomfort and pain when they're pooping. So then they start to dread pooping because it hurt, right? And then they delay. So they're trying not to poop. So discomfort, dread, delay, right? And then what happens is the poop builds up in their rectum and all that they're letting out is tiny, hard poops. So it's still hard to poop. They can get stuck in this cycle for a really long time. It's a tricky issue. It's a common issue. So unfortunately, I keep sighing about this one. It's just really hard. I know I work with a lot of families who've kind of tried a lot of things around this, and coming to a solution it takes a lot of heads put together often, right? There's not a simple solution for this. So most likely you're going to need a multidisciplinary plan to break the D3 cycle. This is one of all the times we've said, you should probably talk to your doctor about this. This is number one. Do not go forward without talking to your child's doctor about this. You need their family doctor or pediatrician to weigh in. It may be necessary to use a medical intervention. Actually, it very often is for this issue. Something like suppositories, enemas even, a regular laxative regimen. The doctor needs to tell you what they think will work best for that. So in this situation, you need to kind of put the medical together with the nutrition or dietitian advice together with the advice of a behavior analyst to help you figure out, when to do this, how to help the child sit, all that sort of thing. You might also need a speech language pathologist for some advice about poop-related communication. That can be part of the discomfort, dread, delay cycle as well. Occupational therapists might need to help you with seating on the toilet. That could be your issue too. So you really got to look at every angle. And in my practice, I do work a lot with pediatricians. They'll tell a family, okay, I've looked at all the variables. I really think this child should have, maybe daily suppositories for a week. That's something a doctor is the only person who can tell you to do that. And then I'll work with the family on how to make that happen. So what time? So I would help them take data on when we would do that, how they should be sitting, what the reinforcement should be, and when and how to deliver it. If we maybe also need to use the stimulus fading procedure with the diaper too, depending on the learner's variables and that sort of thing. Yeah, it can be a really complicated piece. So there's the medical side, but we also have to teach the trainee to sit there and push and stay long enough and what reinforcers are needed. And a nutritionist too, yeah, that's absolutely. Sometimes fiber intake is a huge factor here. So having a nutritionist or a dietitian weigh in on what you can do to break the discomfort, dread, delay cycle can also be huge. So It's not you as the parent, you're gonna do some legwork here. It's often the parent needs to be kind of the communicator between the parties and run the team, make this happen, right? And a lot of parents of kids with ASD, you're used to doing that, right? It's a lot. You're gonna have to coordinate some services here, but it's possible. It happens. We work on this issue all the time with families, and there is a way, but the way varies so much, trainee to trainee. So number one, though, the doctor has to give you some advice on the medical side. They might say, no, I don't think you need medical intervention. Fine, go to the next professionals on the list, but probably your doctor is going to have some advice, so go there first.